Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.
Welcome, everybody, to the Morning Dinner Podcast, episode number 28, I believe. It's
29?
28 or 29?
Yeah, one of those two.
Okay,
It's
well.
a number. It's a number.
Whichever episode it is, we got our good friend at...
It's Ray, I guess.
Bro,
What up,
I was
dog?
going to say, I guess it's Ray.
Yeah.
I guess
it's one of those somewhere
So
in there.
okay, so first question first. Like I've known you for a couple of months.
Yeah.
This year we met, right?
Yeah.
We did a photo shoot here at the house. It was your cover for your Mr. Nice Guy cover, right? With Tej.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a rapper.
I am.
You're a lyricist.
Yes.
You're an MC. Can you give the people a little bit of background about who you are and what you do real quick?
Awesome. Okay, so I am Itsrayiguess. I am a rapper, like he said, a lyricist. I pride myself on lyricism, and an artist. Those kind of can all fall underneath the rapper umbrella, but I like to, I like to do more than just rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I can make good quality music, that's kind of like my goal. You know?
How long would you say you've been making music for?
If we're talking about like recording, it's probably going on like, what am I, 24? Jesus. I've been recording since I was like 13. So,
Okay.
So yeah, almost like 10
For a
years.
good while then. Damn.
Sheesh, that's
Good shit.
Wait,
man.
wait,
10 years.
but-
I'm old.
But the only project I really know from you is the
Board at Home.
the Board at Home one, the one with the blue cover, right?
Yeah.
Why is that your only project up to date, like on iTunes, I guess?
What it is like when I first started recording, I started recording when I was a junior in high school with my friend and like mentor Vic Smith. I don't know if you know him, but he's dope.
I think he was on the album too.
Yeah.
one of those
He's on.
songs,
Yeah, he's on Off Day.
Okay, that's the one.
But yeah, me and him back then, we used to collaborate on music all the time, and he taught me a lot, as far as like finding my recording voice, because I didn't have one then.
Well, what does that mean? Your recording
voice is like, how some amateur rappers, like they kind of have this voice where like they rap like they talk.
Yeah.
Like, I was going down the street and then I did this thing.
Yeah.
And they talk just like that. Like, recording voice is like, it's kind of like, just, it's, how do you say it? Amplifying what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like, it's like an exaggerated version of your voice.
Exactly. So if I'm going to say, I went down the street, then I did, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of have to find that. But anyway, yeah, so back when I was a junior in high school, met him, he helped me record, and I had mixtapes. Back then they were called Freshman Friday and Freshman Friday 2.
Okay.
And the first one was based off of me, like, it was like a real old school mixtape when I was rapping over other people's beats. So I was rapping over Childish Gambino. I was rapping over Kendrick Lamar.
It was like remixes,
French
basically.
Montana, Lupe Fiasco. I rapped over a whole bunch of people's beats and like murdered it. Like, so, and I got a lot of like, appraisal for that. And I was pretty big in my little area. As far as school rappers go, like, I was pretty big.
Here in Vegas?
Yeah, I went to school. I was at Shadow Ridge when this happened.
Shadow Ridge, okay.
Yeah, Shadow Ridge High School. Shout out to the
That's
Mustangs.
like near Rancho?
I'm over like Northtown, closer to like, what is it?
Well, don't give people your address either, bro.
Hell no. Hell no, I don't need that
I'm
problem.
at 678
Right?
Melrose.
Hell no. But yeah, anyway, I'm on that side of town. But yeah, so during that time I had mixtapes and stuff, but that was back in the age of individual dimensions though.
My bad, bro.
Shout out to Key.
Right?
Keeping his phone on.
Yeah.
Going over here going off.
Popping. But yeah, so I had the mixtapes, but that was back in the days of like individual downloads. So I had like my stuff on Mediafire. You know what Mediafire is or no?
Yeah, like it's like
That's still around.
That was one of those things where you just had to like send it, and that person had to download that song. You know what I'm saying? But
I think I used to use Lime Links.
Lime
Links?
Is that like off of LimeWire or somehow?
Kind of. I think it was the same thing where you would send and it would actually track the downloads. Like it was one link that people went to, they would download it, and if two people downloaded it would say two
like
downloads.
Exactly. Like it was just like that, where it's like who downloaded it because you sent it directly.
But what about Dat Piff, bro?
I was shoot. I had a very lackluster mixtape put up on that.
Is it still on
I
there?
won't talk. It might be, bro. I never took it
We might
down.
have to go look it up.
But the thing is,
Hey, bro.
I've gone under different aliases, so you might not be able to find it, and I'm not gonna tell
really?
you which one it is.
Crap, I didn't do my homework. I should have done.
Yeah, I've had multiple names before Itsrayiguess came around. But yeah, none of those mixtapes are on like iTunes and like Spotify or anything because they were just so early in my my career, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
So
why was it that you decided to go with Itsrayiguess for your stage name?
Funny story about that. Like it's kind of simple. Itsrayiguess is actually from Instagram. When I first made an Instagram, it was the only name I could find.
That was available?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like I kept trying to type names and they kept saying, no, someone's got it. And I was like, fuck it. It's Ray, I guess. And that shit stuck. So years later, because I had went under just Ray for a minute. Like I was, I'm going to get my aliases out. I was Ray with an @ in the middle.
That's tight as fuck.
I was that for a long time.
You were at Ray?
So yeah, it was R @Y. And I used to like do like a little signature that had the A like connected and shit. It was cool.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was in my
It was
bag.
cool.
I was in my bag with that shit. Like, I was like, oh, I got him now. But yeah, so I went from that to just Ray. You know, just regular spelled Ray, kind of on some Drake shit. I'm like, Ray, one word, share, got it, seal. But anyway, so I went from that. And I switched up because one of my friends and one of my fellow dreamers, Artie Basquiat, we were at like some kind of function. And he's like, dude, I don't know about your name. And I'm like, what you mean? It's like my actual, like, that's my name. Like, he's like, nah, man. Like,
It's too
I don't get a
common?
Ray vibe from you. I get like a cooler name, like the homie Ray or something. Like, you got to come up with a better name. So the whole time I'm like, man, whatever. Like, I'm cool with my name. And I eventually, what happened was all the rappers with the weird names start coming out.
Yeah.
So you get the XXX Tentaciones, the Ski Master Some God. And
So then you were like, it's socially
and I'm like, oh
acceptable.
shit, maybe he's right. Like maybe like these names are like more important than that. So eventually I kept trying to think of names and the Itsrayiguess name came up and I was like, you know what? I should just do that. It's the only name I was like comfortable giving myself because I gave it to myself years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I remember trying to find you on iTunes because I was trying to like listen to your music.
Yeah.
And I was typing Ray.
Ray,
I was like, wait. What's his rap name? Because his it's Ray, I guess. But that can't be his real like rap
Yeah,
name.
I was like, nah, this ain't it. I was like,
yeah,
found
yeah.
it.
That's okay.
So what do you think? Do you think it's harder for people to find you or
I don't know. It's actually it's like a little joke. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because every time someone's like, oh, so you rapping? I tell them my whole little spiel. Like, yeah, I do music. They're like, so where can I find you? I'm like, oh, it's Ray, I guess.
Okay.
And they're like, Ray, I guess it's not coming up. I'm like, no, it's Ray, I guess. Like the whole thing.
Yeah.
So like,
that's like if somebody asked me, hey, Keem, what's your Instagram? Oh, it's just search Keem.
but I can't find just
No, at just search Keem.
exactly. No, it's like a little inside joke. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
So you're in a little you're in a group, right? In a collective.
Yeah.
I saw your interview with a 98.5.
Oh, yeah.
And you were talking about the Dreamers. Now, who all is the Dreamers for people who are tuning in and don't know?
Yeah, so the Dreamers, we originated from a show that we did earlier this year in January, I believe, called Dreams Never Die. And that was put together by my friend Chop 808 and Sorrel Bell. So
Shout out Chop 808.
Shout out Chop.
But yeah, so we got me, we got Chop 808, we got Sorrel Bell, we got Mac Neely, Papa Chulo Tej. I can never say that word right. And we also have Chels Fuego and Artie Basquiat.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our little collective.
How many total is it?
7, I believe.
7 of you guys.
Yeah.
That's
So
super tight.
now you guys aren't like a label where you know it's like all financed through the label. This is
Yeah.
more like a collective of friends who I guess you would say. What is it that you guys do together that makes that bond so strong?
It's just wanting. We all have our own unique sound. You know what I mean? In a way, we were all kind of like the outsiders looking into the music scene.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to any of our music, none of us sound the same, but also no one sounds like us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's no one who could sound like Chop. There's no one who makes music like me or Chels or anyone else. So it keeps us bonded in that way. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yo, like we're doing something special. Like this is important. And the fact that it's kind of like we pride ourselves on being very humble and happy and like, you know, good energy people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I get a very like 90s vibe from all you guys.
yeah.
Like
That's cool.
not even just from the music, but from like the fashion, the style that you guys wear, even through your hairstyle, bro. I'm like, it looks a little 90s.
It reminds me of like the era of like You and I and all that.
Yeah.
You know, like Thursday and
Yeah.
who's the other? Oh fuck, I can never think because there's so many dope artists out there. But quick thing, Yo, can you guys get off the Wi-Fi maybe?
Oh, what's happening? That's
it's
slowing down.
Yeah, slowing down?
I think it's taking all of it.
Damn.
Oops.
Okay. Yeah,
There's
good.
3 devices on the Wi-Fi, and we already messing it up.
We good.
It's all good. Yeah, it's just cutting out right now. So.
Wait, so do you guys all record at the same like recording studio, or how does that work?
It's cool because like we're all, even though it's a collective, we kind of all have our own way about creating and things like that. So people like Chop and Mac, they'll kind of go off and also Artie, they all record themselves, produce their own beats and everything like that.
Oh, they all produce their own music?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. So if you listen to Chop's last album, that's all Mac. Them two hooked up together and got a whole album knocked out.
Okay.
And then Artie does all his beats. He's doing like 10 beats a day. And records himself, and then me and Tej, we record with Sounds by Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
So at Junction Complex.
I think we're gonna have him on.
You should have him on.
Yeah.
That's the guy right there. He's a mastermind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of us have our different like ways of putting our music together. So
okay.
Yeah.
Now your style of music, I was listening to it. Mm-hmm. It's not so much the stereotypical gangster rap that people hear nowadays. Because man, you hear people go on the internet go like, oh, I don't like rap because it's too
too much mumble.
Yeah. It's too much. Okay. So there's two avenues. There's two avenues. There's either too much mumble rap and I can't understand it or it's too much
repetitive.
Like no, not just that, but like talking about women, money, cars, and all that stuff.
The money, bitches, cars, right?
Yeah. How would you?
That's what I call it. That's literally what it is.
How would you describe your particular style of rap?
I'm just honest to self, man. Like I don't rap about nothing I've never done before. And on top of that, I'm a happy person, so I make happier shit. You know what I mean? And even if I do get into sadder topics or deeper topics, it's me going into what I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's never like, man, I remember that time I was with the homie and the homie got shot.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that shit never happened. Like, ever.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, no. I'm like, that's my life is not like that at all. So I just make shit that's like my goal is always to make shit that I can feel. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can listen back to my music and be like, damn, that's some real ass shit, that means I'm doing my job. If it don't touch me, if I can't feel it, I can't expect anyone else to. You know what I mean? So that's all I ever try to do.
Yeah. You're the second rapper that we had on this podcast, bro. The first one being 88 Nate.
Yeah.
And he told us his first influence was Bow Wow.
No way.
Which had me dying, bro.
But Bow Wow is a goat in his own sense, bro. Like back in that age, him and Lil Romeo, that was a heavy ass beef.
Yeah.
That shit was real back then.
They had beef. I wasn't around for that.
Like that shit was intense. Like
that shit was real
for 8-year-olds.
Like, I did not even know.
Yeah,
I forgot about Lil Romeo.
That shit was intense. You couldn't tell me nothing about that. That was crazy.
I was watching The Office the other day, and they were like somebody started rapping on there.
Yeah.
And then this older black guy goes like, "He ain't no Lil Romeo." I was like, people are using that as reference.
Lil Romeo ain't even Lil Romeo right now. But
so let's talk about your first influences coming up in music. Who were they?
Very first influence is 100% Kanye West. Like he's the reason why I started doing music. Like when I was a kid, I'm horrible with ages and timelines, but I'm gonna say I was like maybe 5, and my cousin and my family used to be like in a bowling league. This is back in Detroit, which is where I'm from.
Okay.
But they used to be in a bowling league, and as a 5-year-old, I can't do shit for hours because they're like doing tournaments, like full ass tournaments, right? So I'm sitting there with a CD player, my cousin's CD player, while they're bowling, and one of the main CDs he had was College Dropout. So I would sit there and I'm playing the same CD for hours on end until the CD player dies. And more I just started realizing like I've never heard a rapper rap over violins. I've never heard a full-blown orchestra or all these soul samples on anything else before. And he's funny. Like I hadn't heard funny rap either because back then like it wasn't really about that. You know what I mean?
No, you had like the Tupacs and
like his punchlines were always just the funniest, realest shit. You know what I'm saying? Like So
I like the graduation Kanye.
My favorite album of all time is Late Registration.
Late Registration.
Favorite one of all time. Top to bottom, from skits to ho 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 ho. Yeah. I knew I was gonna see you again. Like, wake up, Mr. West. Like,
bro, and those samples are so classic,
perfect,
bro.
Everything on that album is perfect. Like, you talk about an album that had 10 hits on it. Like out of like 18 songs, 20 songs,
Yeah.
like 10 of those songs were either on the radio or charting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you have Gold Digger from that album. You have what was it? Sierra Leone talking about diamonds and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, and all kind of other records. But yeah.
You actually touched on something that triggered something in my head, and you talked about how you used to have a CD player with that one CD in there and used to loop it over and over again. Do you think that nowadays with like kids having iTunes on their phone, Spotify, and having access to any artist, any song in the world, and not even having to listen to one project over and over again, do you think that makes it harder as an artist like to come up because everything's just you can listen to anybody on your phone?
It kind of does make it harder in a way.
Because think about it, if you were growing up and you had that Kanye West CD,
and I could go to anything else,
but then you also had Lupe Fiasco, or you also had the Tech Nine, and and your mood changes throughout the day, and you're listening to all these different artists. Maybe now Kanye West isn't as big of a deal. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's just a really weird transitional time. Like, you know, when it goes from, you know, who were the OGs? Like now people like Kanye and Jay-Z and all of them are like moving out of the picture. You know, granted they're still here and they're prominent, but like now people like Kendrick and Cole and Drake are the old guys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So having that, and then on top of that, you know, CDs and stuff are kind of getting out the way, and you know, now it's all streaming and everything else. It's just a really weird transitional time. So I don't know. It's because there's pros and cons to it, just like anything else. So it makes music more accessible, which is cool because that's where you get all these kids who are like, I listen to everything. Yeah. It's because it's always around them. Everything's always in their disposal. Back in the day, it was like the black kids and the Mexicans, you go listen to rap, and you go listen to this, and you go listen to that.
Vanilla
you know what I'm
Ice.
saying? Back then, it was like, if you listen to anything else, it's like, why are you listening to that type of music? But now it's like, everyone's like, no, I listen to everything, bro. Like, that's all my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think I like it in that sense. But the only thing I'm gonna miss about CDs, you know, when they officially are like out, is like just having that physical, you know what I mean? Having that booklet.
Vinyls, dog.
Vinyl, I like. I'm happy because vinyls are still like good. They're all like they're still selling.
It's funny because we were talking about this. I don't think vinyls will ever disappear.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's just tight to have them, and I think something about them. Yeah. It's just.
It's a beautiful thing when you can see that artwork in front of this vinyl and everything like that, and you can pull that record out and everything. It's just, I think that feeling will never get old. You know what I'm saying? Like even because me and my dad, like we DJ and stuff. Like
your dad DJs too?
Yeah, it's a family business.
That's tight. Okay.
Yeah, he's been doing it since like childhood. But like he DJs like with Serato's, and he still has the records, but I see a lot of people who don't even have the records anymore when they go DJ. But that's just a feeling you can't like replace. Scratching and like even just playing a record, playing a vinyl record, like that's
CDJs
classic.
and vinyls are so much different, bro. Because I use Techniques. Yeah. Techniques or Technics?
Techniques.
I don't know. I hate that shit. I'm like, God damn it. I think it's Techniques. But
you want to feel what you're doing.
Yeah, it feels so dope. Like, you know, and you can do it on CDJs, but it's not the same shit. Digital. And it doesn't have that same
now, a
resistance.
CDJ, explain to me real quick. What's the CDJ?
The electronic one, you know, with like just the platter. The vinyls I got in my room. Yeah. Those are vinyls. Those
have like the grooves inside of the.
Where you actually have to put like a vinyl thing on
and it has to read, and the needle has to read and everything.
Yeah. But CDJ is all digital. Okay. It's just a controller.
It's like it emulates what a record would do.
But it's still a physical copy, right? Okay. Kind of like as opposed to like having a VHS tape versus having a Blu-ray. Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, I guess so.
I still get clowned on for having Blu-rays, bro.
Why?
Like my sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, like. For the longest time, because I always buy Blu-rays because I like physically having a copy of the movie, and then also the fact that you can watch all the behind the scenes and all that stuff. No, I still get clowned on it for like, no, you know, you have to go buy from iTunes because you know the physical copy is gonna wear out, and I'm like, no, I just like having the physical copy, and then the artwork of the movie too, you know, the behind the scenes and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, man, keep your physical copies. Physical copies are the rage for life, man. Yeah, because like one argument I always bring up is Instagram. how everything is digital, but no one has a printout of their pictures. I bring that shit up all the time. Because what if the internet goes out one day? Whatever memory you had, that shit is out the window.
Oh,
I think about it all the time. I'm like, yo, I need to take my shit to wherever and get my shit printed out. Because you need those physicals.
Because some crazy EMP or something.
No, that's all it takes. And hackers are good as fuck. These days, they do it just for fun. I've seen it too much to be trustworthy of the internet like that, to just keep my most precious moments.
That is crazy, man. All it does takes is North Korea to send out an EMP.
1 second.
Yeah.
Whatever you thought was important, that shit is gone.
We're back to the dark ages, bro.
Could you imagine how big of a freak out that's gonna be? People holding their phones, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, bro, not even their phones. I mean, not even their computers. But think about electricity in your house. Think about your car not being able to start because it's electronic. All that stuff, bro. It goes out the window.
That shit would be so trippy.
Yeah.
But to me, it'd also be exciting.
It'd be interesting.
Kind of dope.
One thing that I've always wanted to do, I want to learn the basic functions of a man, when you're supposed to learn how to start a fire with twigs and shit, and I need to go shooting and shit. I want to know these survival tactics,
bro.
I feel like people don't.
That guy on YouTube who does building the huts and shit.
No,
bro, you gotta look him up.
Crazy,
bro.
Yeah.
It's so tight. He be teaching you how to do fires, how to build axes and all that.
I want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think for the future, as far as when I have kids and things like that, I'm I want to be able to teach them those kind of things. I don't want to be well, just look it up on YouTube. What the fuck?
What if the internet goes out?
You didn't see the tutorial? Why are you asking me? What the fuck?
But even not even just that, but think about my parents live on the east side.
Yeah.
That's a good 15 miles away from here.
Yeah.
Imagine having to walk that distance to go see them because my car's not starting.
And any family that's out of state, you're not. Yeah, they're chilling out there. You're chilling out here.
Dang.
I'll never see them.
We talking about the EMPs, bro.
Yeah.
Listen deep.
Usually we wait.
Usually
we wait till the hour mark to start talking about conspiracies, bro.
It's now.
We gotta send out carrier pigeons and shit to message each other.
All right. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the music here, because you are an artist.
Go ahead.
You make some dope music, man. But I have to ask you this, and this is something I didn't ask Nate, and I meant to. How do you feel about people using the N-word in rap music? How do you feel about that?
That's a deep one.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Honestly, I don't agree with it. If you're saying are you saying as far as other races, or are you talking about anyone? Are you talking about? That's what I'm saying.
Let's do both. Let's do anyone, and then just the
That's
race.
a deep one. Oh, okay.
I think your answer is gonna be I'm assuming is across the board nobody should use it.
Honestly, I think as far as the culture goes, as far as being African American myself, I'm okay with my people using it. But there is an overdoing of it. You know what I'm saying? I heard a song not too long ago where the chorus was literally the N-word 20 times.
Damn.
I don't need to hear that shit.
That has no context to it.
I'm gonna be real. There was a old Lil Wayne tweet or something I saw. Someone said something about Wayne. This is a long ass time ago, but they were quoting some of his lyrics. And they were making fun of it, saying good thing nigga rhymes with nigga, because that's all he was saying. And I'm oh damn, that is how people are using it today. And I'm I don't know, you can be more creative than that. Yeah. As far as people outside of the race, I don't think it should be. I don't think it should happen. You know what I'm saying?
I see a lot of people use it outside of the race, man. Yeah. Literally, even to my race, Mexicans. I'm just and it's crazy because they also surround themselves with people with black people who support that, so it's you got to be part of the group.
It's a really blurred line, It's
almost like you got to be vetted, kind of shit.
It's weird because one this actually came up not so long ago, but one song that comes to mind. You remember that Lil Dicky song that he did with Chris Brown, the Freaky Friday, and he was saying the N-word. What up, my nigga? Yeah. I was that was a great moment. It was funny, but I'm what is he gonna do at shows?
Yeah.
What is Lil Dicky gonna do at these shows?
Well, the verse was Chris Brown's verse.
I know,
right?
but it's his show.
Damn.
Chris Brown isn't gonna come to assist you every time you do your top song.
Yeah,
and that part comes up, and that's a lot of people's favorite part because it's funny.
I mean, if you wanted to cop out, you could just microphone to the crowd.
But that's what makes it worse. Yeah. So now we have this white guy. At a white people concert, and everyone's "What up, man?" You know what I'm saying? So it's it's a hard thing to contain and even like make sense of, because a lot of people, like I said, are accepting of other people saying it. And there is, it's just a weird, little blurred line. But
it's definitely a blurred line, man. Yeah. I mean, I kind of grew up like I never like actually repeated it when it was in the song. Yeah. But it's always like that thing where you're like kind of get that temptation, like it's part of the lyrics
because you want
to say it.
People
right?
want to feel that attitude and that like moment of with the rapper and stuff, and I get that. But like as far as my stance, that's how I feel. People within the culture, I guess you could say it, but be mindful of how you're using that word.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also people outside of it. There's no reason to use it.
Yeah.
I'll say a quote from one of my favorite people and biggest influences, Donald Glover, on his stand up. He said, people make such a big deal of the N-word, and he's like, it's if you say it, there's not really anything you can do with it. You can't put it on your resume. You know what I'm saying? Like, people aren't going to be like, oh, so, he does this, he does that. He's got 10 years of, customer service, and he can say the N-word. Give that guy a job. Like, no one's going to, there's no power in it, There's no superpower that you get from being able to say it. So it's just like, if you shouldn't say it, just don't use it. You know what I mean? That's all.
I feel like that's like really the only racial slur that people abuse like on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like everything. Like I've never. I don't like. There's racial slurs for like Mexicans and like for Asians, but you don't really like. It's not common.
I've thought about that too.
Like you have to really be mad at somebody and be really racist to say it. Like
and it's just it's trippy, man. It is what it is, though.
Yeah. I totally understand, and I do agree that it's like it is part of the hip hop culture, and then you like people from the race, like they do, if they say it, it's their choice to say it or not. You know what I mean? But I also do feel like it has brought a normalization to, because you hear it on your everyday basis, just because you hear it. And
wasn't like that whole thing with like Spike Lee, like he was mad at Quentin Tarantino because he was using the N-word in his scripts. What would you say about that? Because that's like an art, you know what I mean? But
and he's a white guy.
A
but
very
it's
white
also,
guy.
It's also like a movie.
But he's doing art
about that piece.
The thing about that's also crazy. Like I said, it's a really weird line right now, because the thing with Quentin Tarantino, he does use that, but he always casts somebody who probably would have said that word in that situation anyways.
Yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson's definitely gonna say nigga at some point.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I get it. It's just weird. It's hard to even explain. I just know my stance on it.
That's good. That's good to have, man. Wait, so how long have you been in Vegas, like making music?
Majority of my life.
Okay.
I've been in Vegas. Just to give the background, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And then I moved out here when I was about 8.
Okay.
So I've been out here
majority of your life.
Yeah. So I was definitely raised out here.
Okay.
But the cool thing about moving out here when I was that age was I got to experience the best parts of my city when I was young. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a dangerous place for in a lot of senses. But being young and be able to just experience being in a cool place, you know what I'm saying? It was nice. Before I had to get into any like other crazy shit.
And the city really has changed, bro, because I moved out here when I was 6.
Yeah.
And just like downtown was not a place you could really like go to. It wasn't like let's go downtown. There was nothing down there unless you wanted to get
exactly. That's all it was. That's all it was. It was
hookers. Hookers and crack.
No, you know what's crazy is I had a cousin take me on a car drive one day, and he's like, "Yo, let me show you how easy this is." Yeah. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he rolled down his window, and this girl was walking by, and she just poked her head, and I was like, "Oh,
what the fuck?"
But I had seen her, and I was like, whoa, like I didn't know, like I would not be able to spot that person. You know what I mean?
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's the strip for you.
So let's talk about you're 8 years old. You're in Vegas. Like how has the music scene out here in Vegas evolved since you've been here?
You know what's crazy? I didn't really know much about the music scene until last year, until I became a part of it. So it's been like 2 years actually. But what it was is like the only thing I knew was Dizzy Wright. Like everybody else, I was like, oh, that's the Vegas guy. Like he's the one who made it out. But so I knew him, and I'm like, oh, that's dope, man. Like I want to be able to do that. And then 2 years ago, I met some cool people who kind of brought me in to the music scene, and like Sorrell and Chop were part of that group. But they brought me into it, and it was like opening the closet to Narnia. I was like, holy shit. Like,
real quick, like, how did you meet them? Like, were you just like at a show, or what happened?
I'm really good with networking and meeting people, and that's before I even knew about the music scene and all that. I'm just really good at finding good quality people, if that makes sense. I'm good at finding people who are like, I'm sure they take their shit serious.
Yeah.
So I had found a guy named Paul Perez, and he had a group that he had started up called COTS. And I was looking at their stuff, and I'm like, yo, y'all are pretty dope. So I had hit him up and was like, hey, can I meet y'all? And I'm like doing like an audition for him. I'm like, and he's like my age.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, this is my discography. This is what I have. This is what I'm working on, all that. And they liked me, and they really liked what I was doing. So they brought me around the rest of the crew. And therefore, I met Sorrell, and I met everyone else. So it kind of like snowballed, and yeah. So that's
wait. So have you? So you said you didn't really get into the hip hop scene in the beginning stages. Like, have you ever heard of like Saju Price coming up? Saju Price.
I don't think so.
Supreme.
These are like the old.
Yeah, I'm
like
sure.
Because Chuck and I have been to the hip hop scene out here since what, bro?
Forever.
So we were babies.
Because I knew like Trade Voorhees and all that, and like
Trade.
That's where my knowledge starts. My knowledge starts at T-Rab, Trade Voorhees, and all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Trade's been in the shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Minute,
those are like
old ass man.
To me. Those are like my OGs. Those are the ones I'm like, oh, I remember y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember y'all was doing big ass shit. Yeah. So that's why I actually have T-Rab on my album. So
T-Rab, shout out T-Rab, man.
Yeah, that's the boy.
We'll have him on soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bro, I really want to have Saju on here at one point because he goes back.
He's dope.
Far back. Yeah, and he's like one of the first songs I heard from him. I'm like, damn, this is a lyrical person. You know what I mean? And he had like a dope ass voice. I haven't kept up with him in a couple of years, so I don't know what he's been up to, but I gotta check up on him, man.
Lyrical is my shit. That's my shit right there. Yeah.
So how do you feel about the state of hip hop right now, as far as like, you know, what's coming out in the music industry with mumble rap? And
you know what's funny? I actually am really happy with it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm a person who believes in balance. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, like, a lot of people like to trash the mumble rap scene and be like, oh, they all sound the same, they all look the same, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's all a necessary thing. You know what I'm saying? One thing, I quote people, my bad. But like one thing Joe Budden said, he was like, people think that I hate mumble rap, but nigga, I don't want to hear me at the club. Like, I don't want to hear the lyrical miracle nigga at the club. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to think about my life. You know, I'm not listening to J. Cole talking about love yourself when I'm trying to pop bottles.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that kind of energy.
It's party music. Saying?
It's
not really spiritual.
Exactly. And it goes back to even the beginning of hip hop. Like, you know, Rapper's Delight, you know, the hip hop, the hippie.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
I saw a documentary on Netflix where like OGs who were really rapping back then were like, yo, that shit's garbage.
Really?
And for us, we're like, that's hip hop.
That's classic.
Back then, they was like, no, turn that off.
Damn.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's been from the beginning of hip hop even to now. Like when people were doing the Humpty Hump and shit like that, I'm sure there was another crowd of people like, this big nose dude is doing some dance and I'm not fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's always been a thing. Like even Juvenile, you know, when he's like, back that ass up. Do you think Nas was like, back that ass up is tight? Nas is like, get this shit off my radio.
I guess you're right. I never thought about how there are different genres of rap. Even like from party rap, we talk about like Flo Rida and Lil Jon. You know what I mean? Like you need those kinds of rap, and it may not be necessarily the same type from the same culture, but it's like a branch off of it, right?
Yeah.
Now the only one that comes to my mind, and I'm like, I'm not too sure about it, is like that. What's it called? Like the emo rap.
Okay, you talking about like
emo rap?
Like,
emo rap.
You talking about like Juice WRLD? You talking about like
Lil Xan?
Yeah.
Oh, emo rap. I was thinking of like.
He was like, "What?
Some terrible shit.
This is going bad."
I don't know. Like, I'm pretty diverse when it comes to like hip hop music. Like, I've grew up with hip hop and rock music. Like, those were my two biggest influences, and I love Tupac, Biggie, and then I acclimated to like the new artists coming up. And even like just recently, I started getting into like the trap and like the Amigos and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, there's some cool songs. Like, I have a trap playlist now.
Yeah, no, that's lit.
I don't know if it's gonna take more time for me to get used to like the emo rap or.
It's just being, like I said, just keeping the ears open, man. And for me, one thing I learned from Kanye was you have to adapt, and not even just Kanye. When I talk about people like I was just watching Beyonce's set with my girl, like her Coachella set, and how diverse she was. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody who's been in the game 20 years plus. and it's still relevant to this day, like she came out yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I have to keep my ears to the ground, and I have to know what's popping, because if I don't, you'll get left behind. And that's almost any craft. You know what I'm saying? That's not just hip hop.
That's completely true.
So people who want to diss the new thing are usually the people that don't make it later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even someone like J. Cole, you would think, oh, he's boom bap to the death. He just made a whole album doing trap shit and killed it. And he just found a new way of doing it. Sometimes you just have to find a new way to do what's already new.
That's the thing. You can be spiritual and you can be a little bit conscious.
Yeah.
But you just have to hit new trends sometimes. You know, slip it in.
Exactly.
And yeah, maybe it's like something you don't like. That's all bad, bro.
Alrighty. That's where we're going. Late night with one and dinner.
Sorry, man. I mean, to cut you off.
You piece of shit.
From morning dinner to the late night snack.
Hey,
That's what we on.
Yo, we're gonna have to get a soundbite from you
Turn
later.
these lights down.
we could dim these.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chuck.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of forgot what I was about to say.
You were talking about slipping something in. I get it.
We get it, bro.
Damn
Don't worry, we get it.
I'm just joking. But yeah,
so then talking about like the mumble rap and the whole like sleepy time music with
Sleepy time.
bro, that's what I call
fun,
it. That's
bro.
what I call it, sleepy time music. Cause it's like rap that doesn't really, it's not hype, but it's like kind of has like a droney sound to it. How do you feel about like OGs like Eminem, like pointing things out and like saying they don't like it specifically and like making diss tracks? Like how do you?
By the way, Eminem, MGK. I don't have to say nothing else. Boy, MGK goes somewhere else. But anyway, and I'm from Detroit, so I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But as far as OGs pointing it out, like I said, I like Cole's approach to it. And you ever heard of YBN Cordae?
Who is it?
YBN Cordae.
No.
He's you ever heard of YBN Namir?
No.
Well, anyway, they're
making me look ignorant, bro.
I know, you're good. They're just like new rappers who are coming up and stuff. Basically, the song that Cole did called 1985 was talking about the younger generation and how like they need to get their shit together and all this other stuff. And YBN Cordae is a young and up and coming rapper. He's probably got to be like 18. Something like that.
Damn, super
but
young.
he's flowing. Like he raps. But he's part of a crew of people who just make hype shit. You know what I'm saying? But he raps for real. He made a response to 1985 from the young person's perspective. And they just had a open dialogue about it.
Yeah.
So I like that example opposed to just you a old head. Like I don't listen to that shit.
Stop being grumpy.
Yeah, exactly. Or like older people being like, I don't listen to that mumble shit. It's like it's too dismissive. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be a collaborative effort because at the end of the day, the older people who are trying to stay in the game and stay relevant need a little bit of what's happening now. And the newer people need the guidance of those older people. That's just life in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you need that guidance because most people will just be like, the young people will stay on the young side. And the old people will stay on
and
the
that's
old
so
side.
stupid to me.
There needs to be like actual arguments and actual like a real debate on it, you know?
There was a video that I was watching on YouTube earlier, and it was about talking about how Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, like they've all kind of gone to shit because they have this algorithm based around what the kind of person that you are, and depending on your beliefs, it'll block out everything else that is contrary to your beliefs, and it will only push your narrative, right?
That's
so like let's just for an example, you're a Trump supporter, right? And you only like certain things, you only hate certain things. It will only show you things on your feed at the top that are similar to your beliefs, right? Yeah. So. Shit, I forgot where I was going. I forgot where I was going with
ready.
this.
I was like,
this is building. This is building.
I really forgot where I was going with this, but I guess like there's a way for social media to kind of like only push what you like, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel it's like the same way with with rap and stuff like music, like for example, like. Oh, this is where I was going with it.
Okay, here we go.
It just came back.
Yes.
It just came back. I was talking about Eminem and how he likes to beef, right?
Yeah.
And how that is pretty much what got his career started with like beefs and all that stuff, and like and how people are so attracted to like drama, right? And people love that shit. So do you think like, I guess my original question was gonna be like, do you think that beefs are kind of like they're just a part of the culture, they're good to have, or do you think they kind of destroy it, or do you think they're just kind of used as a way to like gain exposure and kind of like get up there?
I think beefs are 100% part of the culture. they can be exploited for other things, just like anything else. Like anything else can be like a rollout for an album or a single. Like when people try to manufacture beefs and shit.
Yeah.
Like same way that Hollywood wants to manufacture breakup couples and all this shit. Like go there together and then they're apart a couple months after they did the movie that they needed promo for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But you know, beefs, as long as it's competition. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because hip hop is one of the only genres that's that competitive openly. You know what I'm saying? Like
you'll never see a country artist go like
you'll never see like Taylor Swift and Katy Perry be like, bitch, I'm on your head. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, see me at the top of the charts. Like,
like
you know,
I kissed your girlfriend.
Exactly. No one's gonna shit like no one's gonna do that in rock or any other, you know, genre.
Was hip hop, and I don't know my history too much on it. Was it built off battling, or was it poetry first?
No, what it was is like if you go back to the days what it was, it originated from the DJ.
Right.
So, you know, you had, just as me going off of what I briefly know, you had DJ Kool Herc, or DJ, I think that's his name. And then you had African Bambaataa. You had all these different, you know, DJs. And it was just built off of parties. And then as the DJ was going, people would grab the mic and then they'd start flowing. So it was built off of DJs, like initially, and then it started to become other things, and then you have b-boys and you have all this other stuff, and the culture got built. So that's where it came from.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I think the reason I even brought up the whole like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, like kind of like what the algorithm works, is because I feel like it was I saw you remember Bad Baby or whatever, Danielle Bregoli, like okay, so.
You saw a video.
So I have my opinion about it. I'm not gonna state it, but I feel like cause she just like something. I saw an article on the internet, and it was talking about how like she retweeted like Eminem's new album, and I guess there was not a like, and he was going like Gucci Gang, or something like that. But he was making fun of that flow, and then she retweeted it, going like, I guess I'll take that as a compliment, because she has a compliment because she had a song on one of her projects where she was almost had the exact same flow, but it's like she was copying that flow from the same guy he's making fun of. So but at the same time, you got everybody retweeting it because of just how big she is, and it's like a snowball effect of like somebody who's not technically supposed to be famous, like they're getting their clout, man.
I'm gonna be real. This is a topic we can talk about. Clout chasing. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
With a passion. I'm not gonna say she necessarily does that or whatever. You know, I'm not hating on anybody trying to get their money or whatever. But like, I just don't agree with the look at me tactic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm doing this crazy thing this week. You should look at me and then go get my album.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just be good at fucking music and not do shit like that. Like, it wouldn't matter.
It's so confusing, you know man, because like, you know, the reason she got famous in the first place was doing something super disrespectful. Being a disrespectful person. Yeah. And now she's building an entire following of being disrespectful. And I'm just like,
it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like the main person that comes to mind is like 6ix9ine. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have like any problems with him personally. I don't fucking know him.
Yeah.
But like, it's just weird to me because he talks about how he's topping the charts or he's got like another one on Billboard or whatever, and he's good at music. I don't listen to his music, but it's obvious he has a good fan base.
Yeah.
So to me, all the, you know, beefs and all the antics and shit, it's just like you could have a career without it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just hate when people end up doing that kind of stuff.
I just think it's trippy how like, the power of going viral, bro, can make
change your whole life.
But do you think a song with YG,
sure,
like
it should for sure like speeds up the process a lot more. You know what I mean?
It definitely does. You know, and it's crazy because I'll say the internet is probably at its all-time high as far as how much power it has right now.
Oh yeah.
Like before, you know, people used to hashtag things and it'd be like, oh, that's just a hashtag for today. Yeah. People can literally get you fired. People can get you like sought after. People can the internet can do that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where like I've seen, you know, speaking on Marvel, James Gunn, you know about him getting fired, right?
Yeah,
from the movie.
For some shit he did 10, 13 years ago. Man. Granted, like I saw the tweets that he said, and it's like, no, that's not cool. But you gonna tell me I got fired from something I did 10, 13 years ago? Yeah. I don't even remember what I did yesterday.
That's
what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
that's like
what?
if you did vandalism.
Yeah.
When you were a kid.
Right.
12,
and they came
like,
back.
No, I was a different person then.
And the thing is, like, this is a different topic from hip hop, but like the fact that Disney hired him knowing what his past was.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna be hypocritical and fire James Gunn for that, your main nigga is Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr., who was a piece of shit for the longest time and got his life together.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you gonna fire for something he did 10 years ago? That still trips me out. If I ever lose my job for something I did 10 years ago, I'm fighting everybody in that bitch.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's really the building. It's the
everybody.
It's the people. The people. Yeah. You know, the people fuck it up for everybody because then you have so many people offended and whatnot.
Because what you get now is you get these people where you get these witch hunts on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
where people want to find what you did. You know, you get so many people who get their whole companies and careers, you know, messed up because a group of people were like, "Yo, I saw something he said. We should screenshot." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like. That's all that's happening right now.
And even if you delete it, like somebody will find a way to bring it back up. You know what I mean? I'm sure.
And that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at stuff. You know, you get Facebook memories.
Oh yeah.
I look at stuff I was saying in high school. I was wilding. I'm like, bro. Like, I said what?
Okay, so you know how back in the day, it was really popular for you to link your Twitter to your Facebook.
Yeah.
And every time you made a tweet, it updated your status on Facebook. Bro, I always tell Chuck, bro, if anybody ever wants to take me down, bro.
Yeah, it's on.
It's like they got so much ammo, bro, because I used to be I wouldn't say a piece of shit, but I was so ignorant, bro. You know what I mean? Like I used to say things that I shouldn't be saying, act the way that I shouldn't, but it was like I was 16, 17 years old, and I'm like, that's what the mind goes through. You know what I mean? I'm
like, the hell?
I never did that shit.
No, bro.
You can check my shit.
Chuck's a different case because he actually doesn't even use social media, bro.
You're smart. You're real smart, bro.
He just uses it to creep.
Bro, I'll be. I'm here, but I'm not.
Hey, man. I don't even
you
like
didn't see anything.
I always tell Chuck like, yeah, bro. If anybody ever got into our Facebook DMs,
oh yeah, our Facebook DM for sure.
Get it going, like shut it down, let it all down. We were never here. Clear the cameras. Shut the lights off.
I agree with the whole notion that like, I mean, like unless you did something that's truly like horrific, like you murder somebody, like. Or you rape somebody, that's another issue. But if it's totally something you said when you were a young person, let's separate that, man.
And the thing is I don't know. It's just a trippy time, man. Like people can't say shit, people can't do shit, people can't even wipe their ass without having a whole movement behind them never wiping their ass again.
Yeah.
Like it's just a weird time. Everybody's ultra sensitive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's move away from that topic because I could be a whole other rabbit hole, bro.
We're good.
Okay, let's talk about your project Bored at Home.
Yeah.
How did that project come to be, and how did it change your life?
Bored at Home was that was a whole journey to make that album. Like I have been working on that album from the point I graduated, bro. Like I graduated 2012. That shit came out last year.
It was in the making.
Yeah. So it's like I just went through. It was a combination of just a lot of life experiences, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of just a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So over the course of time, I just kept collecting, moments in my life that I want to talk about. So it all ended up finally coming together last year. What it was, I kept running into situations where I'm like, I find a group of people that I can work with, and like it looks like promising. Like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do this with these people, and it's gonna get done finally. And then it would fall apart. And then I find a new group of people, and the same thing, and recycle the same cycle. Eventually I met the Dreamers and other people. Dawson, who actually helped me record the whole project. He engineered the whole thing and everything. Me and him got in, we locked in and made the project, and that's what you got today. You know what I'm saying? So
now your sound on that project, it's very distinctive. It's very unique to you. But I heard your interview with 98.5, and it was kind of comparing you a little bit to Chance the Rapper, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's kind of like the niche of what you're trying to do, or do you think you're gonna change from that?
Oh, definitely change it. Like me, like I said, I don't like to stay too stagnant. You know what I'm saying? During that time, I was happy and doing other things, so I was just like, I made that kind of music. I just made stuff that was reflective of how I was feeling at the time. So from there, right now I'm trying to make stuff that's a little more mature or a little more, I don't know, like album quality stuff. I want to make skits. I want to have, a track flow from one to the other and other things. You know what I'm saying? Real live instruments, and I want to get deeper into being an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was that album was really, a good starting point. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to show my diversity. That's why you get love songs that are fast and slow, but also you get these like hard trap songs, and you also get jazzy shit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
there
was one song on the project called "I Guess."
Oh yeah,
bro, that was crazy. Bro, yeah, that was a little bit different than most of the other tracks on the album, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What was your thought process behind that song?
I guess was like I told you, all those experiences I had went through the previous years. I just wanted to express how I'd been feeling, because what it was is I had been telling people. I had fans from high school. I had friends and fans who were like, "Yo, when the new music coming out?" When it's no worse feeling than like knowing that you're good and then getting the validation from everyone else around you who's like, yo, you were that guy. Like, you really are talented. Getting that validation and then not being able to produce anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I kept falling into these situations where like I can't make music, and people are like looking at me like, yo, what's going to happen? Like, are you for real about the music or not? And my biggest fear was like being that guy who gets, seen in public, and people are like, yo, didn't you used to rap back in the day? Like, I didn't want that moment. So I'm like worried. I'm like, shit, I want them to know I'm serious. So that had been eating up at me, and then just other life situations, with family and friends and stuff. And I just wanted to get it all off my chest, and express. I didn't need a full song for it. That's why it's an interlude, kind of. It's just short, little, sweet and simple. This is how I felt, and that's what it is, So.
Okay, so shit. What was I gonna say?
Words,
dude. I had I had a whole. Okay, because you talked about not being able to create music. What do you mean by not being able to? Do you mean like not having the instrumentals? Was it the lyrics that weren't coming to your head?
It was just like situations that kept happening. So like during the time, like I said, I kept meeting groups of people. Like I would meet like a producer and meet like a engineer and meet like all this stuff, and they'd be like, yeah, we're part of the vision. We want to help you create this, and then I'd start creating it, and then something would happen where it's no longer a thing. Like none of us are collaborating, and I just kind of lost all that music.
Damn.
Like it never got finished, or something. There's a technicality.
Start taking your own hard drive to do
No, that's I definitely am at fault for a lot of the shit that I was doing. But so a lot of situations kept happening where I walk out empty handed. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I had to keep restarting. I literally restarted that album like 8 times, bro. Like literally, like over years. I'm just like,
I'd love to hear the other version.
That's right?
I bet you it's evolved though. You know what I mean? Like,
it hella did. It had way. It's way different than what it was.
So let's talk about this. How important do you think it is to invest in yourself as an artist?
1000%. Because that's the only reason Bored at Home got done. Because before I kept depending on other people to either make beats or to record me or to whatever the case. And eventually I just said, fuck it, bro. Like I went to YouTube and just started buying beats. And I because people have type beats on YouTube and stuff like that. But so I sat there and I have folders on folders of beats like that I've searched and saved. So I have like playlists basically, but every one of them 200 beats here, 200 beats here, 300 there, 500 there. And I literally made Bored at Home by doing that, but being selective with the hundreds that I was saving. Yeah. So out of hundreds, I got 9.
I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, no, it's just
that's crazy.
That's what I was doing. So like out of that, I made sure my album flowed together and that the sonics of it kind of fit and that it flowed as like a natural album. I wrote to it and then I recorded with Dawson. And I just did all of it by myself because I got tired of it. I was like, dude, like I want a fucking album. And I've been waiting for a long time.
You don't want a mixtape.
Yeah.
I want an album.
Exactly. So that's what I did.
That's one of the things that I noticed about your project, Bored at Home, and Teej's album. The one with the little spaceman with the little gun, bro.
Yeah, Spotlight.
Bro, I listened to that the other day, bro, and I was like, damn, you guys sound like legitimate artists. You don't sound like you're trying to make it. Like you're because I think this is one of the problems that I ran into, especially being out here in the scene for so long. Is a lot of people, bro, they just throw instrumentals together or they'll throw random beats that don't have anything to do with each other, and they'll make random songs and just throw it together. Yeah. But yours is like it goes from one to the next, and it sounds natural. You know what I mean?
It flows sonically, and the difference is, and the reason why to bring it back to the Dreamers, that's another thing. If you listen to any of our albums, they sound like albums. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to Chelsea's music, it sounds like an album. If you listen to Chop shit, it sounds like an album. Like all Teej and myself, it sounds like
you guys
they
do
sound like
really
albums.
Well.
You know what I'm saying? And that's no diss to anybody else who makes music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but speaking up on my own crew, like that's kind of what I feel like separates us from a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your advice to an up and coming artist that sees your body of work or sees like your project and like, whoa, I want to sound like that? What would you say is the key piece of advice for them to get to where put them in the right direction?
Stay true to self. That's always my first thing. I start with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't step outside of who you are to be something that you think you need to be, you know, to be successful. So stay true to self. If you're an emo mumble rapper and you know that at heart, that's how you feel, but you know you're good at it, be that shit, but be good as fuck at that. You know what I'm saying? And make sure and the second piece of advice would be make sure you surround yourself with people who can help you be successful at that. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two main things. Make sure you have people who can help you execute what you're trying to do, and also make sure you stay on yourself when it comes to executing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's really what it is.
I feel like that first piece of advice where you said be true to yourself is probably above all the most important thing, because I mean, like you said, cloud chasing, no good.
Yeah.
It can get you places, but it most likely it's a rare case. It's like 1 in a million kind of thing.
Either.
Yeah, and it won't last that long because you won't be able to sustain it. But I'm saying, like, if you make music that's your own style and you're completely happy with it, if there's an audience for it, you will be successful in it. You know what I mean? As opposed to trying to be successful in something that you're not completely comfortable in.
Right.
And that's what it gets me thinking, like, kind of hip hop or just music in general. It's kind of like Netflix, man. You just scroll and you find what you like.
Exactly.
And then you make your playlist and you kind of like add to your list. You know what I mean?
100%.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, so the Dreamers, you're in the organization of the Dreamers.
The Dreamers.
The Dreamers.
Bro, I always mess up words.
Dreamers. Okay.
Why? What was the whole? Why is it called the Dreamers?
Well, it's funny. Initially, it was Dreams Never Die. That was the show that was put together in January by Chop and Sorrell, and they kind of asked us to be a part of the show, like on some Avengers type shit. They're like, you've been a part of, you've been recruited, but not really. I'm just joking. But yeah, so they asked us to be a part of the show, and it was me, Chop, Artie, Mac Neely, and Teej as performers, and Sorrell was hosting. And from that, the show was called Dreams Never Die. But we made a group chat called The Dreamers just for short, just so we could communicate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then it spiraled into, yo, it's The Dreamers. And we're like, oh, like, oh, shit. Well,
so you guys started,
The Dreamers are here.
So you guys started a WhatsApp group chat, and you're like,
yeah, no, for real. That's all it was. It was like, yo, so this Sunday we're going to have rehearsal. And that was just our group chat. That was it. But then it became the thing. So.
That's kind of tight, man. I want to be in a group. I am in a group. It's called Morning Dinner, and it's me and Chuck.
Bow.
This is
You're
trash.
a part of that. I want out.
No. Hey, but we keep it real on here, bro. Like we always talk from the heart, and we're like we always talk. We both have jobs, bro. Like
exactly.
people think when they see the show, they're like, oh, that's all you guys do. Like you guys, you make content, and that's all you know. Like we have jobs. We work Monday through Friday, bro.
Yeah.
Can you preach on having a job? How important it is to use that to
Ooh, yeah, that's the main reason I'm at my job. I actually stopped going to school. I stopped going to CSN to get the job that I have so it could fund my shit.
That's deep.
That's literally what it was. Like I had a day because I was going to school just for general shit, general studies and stuff, just trying to get somewhere in life. But yeah, so I had one day where I was going to class and it just started hitting me. I'm like, dude, I know that if I do school, I'm gonna half-ass do music. But it's either gonna be half-ass do music or half-ass do school. I can't, because I'm not gonna be able.
Do both,
I can't. If I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do, I'm not gonna be able to delegate my time like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had one day when I was going into class, and I remember the order. I called my girl, and I asked her opinion, and she's like, "Well, if you feel like you don't need to be there anymore, don't go." But then I asked my dad, and he's like, "Yo, if you got a plan, then I'm with it. But if not, you better take your ass to class."
Yeah.
But like I told him, because he works at the post office as well, And I was like, yo, so my plan is to get this job at the post office. I'm going to be making blah, 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 this much. And that's going to be able to pay for this equipment and this and that and those sessions. And he was like, sound like it makes sense to me. Don't go no more.
Yeah.
Get whatever money back you can and, you know, do your thing.
Yeah.
And within a month, I had the job at the post office.
Okay. And that's what you use to fund your vision, your dream.
Everything. Yeah.
That's so important, man, because I feel like a lot of people, they feel like they need to automatically jump into it with no backup, or like, not, I want to say backup plan, but no way of
no foundation.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like that's why we have our job, so we can fund our passion, and our passion will eventually grow to something much bigger.
No, 100%, because when it comes to the post office, that's how I paid for the sessions, like I said, and everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to make sure I did have a foundation to go off of. You know,
it's the original phrase, bro. It takes money to make money.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you know what? Like, I had this like brain blast moment off of like me trying to like realize like, oh, money.
You said brain blast moment?
I got a blast.
It reminded me of like That's So Raven. She's like,
shit, yes.
She had a vision.
Yeah, but I had that moment when the movie Straight Outta Compton came out.
Ooh.
And you want to know why?
Why is that?
Because I realized, even though Ice Cube was talented as shit, even though they had Dre producing, it took Eazy-E's money to make that shit go.
Boom.
So everything he was doing that he wasn't supposed to be doing was funding the dream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If it wasn't for Eazy-E's like drug pushing,
exactly.
Probably wouldn't have happened. Or
I wish he would have got another way.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it hit me. I was like, oh shit, I need money to move this.
Yeah.
So after I got the job, you know, and that's a career. Like, the post office is a career for most people. That's like, oh, I'm in, cool, 30 years.
That's a government job, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like benefits and good ass benefits, good ass pay and all that. Like, not to flex, but I'm making like 18 an hour right now.
Ooh, there you go.
Really nice.
I hate my fucking job, but hey, that check.
But the thing is, bro, is and this is one of the things that this is something that I kind of preach to my family, because they see as having when you go to work and you have these stresses and you have these things, they impact your mind, and you start taking things personally. Like, for example, I do like video and graphic for like, it's for a company called Delucian, but I'm based out of CSN. Now there's a lot of things that happen there sometimes that what most people would get stressed out, and they would take things personally, like, oh no, we got to make this edit, or now you got to change this, now you got to do that. But people take it personally because that's all they have going for them, and then they quit, or they start rebelling, or they start messing up in their work environment. I feel like one of the most important things is that your career is going to be music, and your job right now is funding that, so you don't take anything personally. Whatever happens between 8 and 5 p.m., that's that. Exactly. You don't take it outside of your
100%.
job.
Like me, I'm one of those people, once I clock out, my job don't exist no more.
Exactly.
Like, so people be asking me, like, so what's your job like?
Yeah.
What was work like?
Yeah.
Workish.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. That's what I tell people. How was work? Workish. I was people there and then I wasn't. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do my complaining. I'm bitching and moaning until I clock out, and then after that I'm like, okay, cool, time to get to business. I'm trying to get back to the music. So that's really how it works, and it's been like that for the 2.5 years that I've been there. So
I think that's some important knowledge that people just should have in general, man.
Yeah.
And
you gotta fund your own dream. You know what I'm saying? You gotta invest in yourself.
Now let's talk about bringing it back to music. What are your thoughts on like sampling and all that? Do you feel like sampling is a good thing, or do you think it's kind of like
it's the biggest thing in hip hop? It's funny, like, people sample things that like people wouldn't even know. Yeah. Like, I think I could be wrong on on this song, but Drake's Headlines had a sample in it. Yeah. You would have thought somebody was just you know what I'm saying, like
on the MIDI keyboard.
You would think that, like, it is just because it sounds that simple. But I would believe that almost every song has a sample in it. Yeah, like literally every song.
Because those. Do you count, like, let's just not say like they didn't actually get the old song exactly and sample it, but if they copied the chord progression,
yes, that's what I'm saying. But I count, like, you have like beat packs, you know what I'm saying, where people use drums that are sampled, or use kicks that are sampled, or use snares or hi-hats, or everything sampled in hip hop.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I was watching this video on I want to say it was Vox on YouTube, and they were talking about, there was two videos. One of them was sampling the Bruno Mars 24 karat. That drum progression goes all the way back to like the Motown days with like James Brown band. The drummer, he was iconic for making that sample. Like and it's literally been used in so many hip hop songs and songs outside of hip hop as well.
Exactly.
And then it was talking about that hit, that classic orchestral hit, that and how everybody uses it in hip hop and R&B. And it goes back to like the late 1800s, bro, when it was an orchestra song. You know what I mean?
And to me, like, and to even mention 24 Karat Gold, you know what big star just sampled that song? And this is like maybe last year.
Who?
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
really?
Loyal.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
You know the beginning of Loyalty?
Yeah.
When it's
the
like
reverse.
The reverse. That's 24 Karat Gold. The intro.
Wow.
It was so funny because like I noticed that and I was like, why does it sound like the 24 Karat Gold? It's not.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not.
There's a YouTube video that breaks that down. Like it's literally the intro to 24 Karat Gold played in reverse.
That's crazy.
Like,
man.
so sampling to me is.
But that's a good way of using sampling. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's where you take something that's it's not yours, but you make it yours. You know, you throw your own twist on it, and then you make it sound completely different.
Exactly.
It's in there, but you really have to dissect it to find it. But without it, the song falls apart.
But even if you use a sample, and this is just my opinion, if you loop a sample and you put some drums on it, which is like a lot of OG hip hop songs, I still think it's a beautiful thing because you're bringing back a sample that was probably forgotten.
Yeah, no.
You know?
To me, sampling, and you gotta understand. Excuse me. Who my number one influence is? Kanye West. His whole discography is samples.
Yeah.
That's all he has ever done. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't take away from the artistry, though.
At all. No, it's an art in itself. Sampling is an art in itself. Because I used to make beats I haven't done in a long time. But sampling is not necessarily just taking something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's showing appreciation to something that you really like.
And
you know
if
what
you
I'm
flip
saying?
it like a J Dilla,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Even Nujabes was the one who actually, he didn't really chop up, but he was taking multiple, like a bass line, a jazz, a drum from different songs and melding them together.
Yeah.
And melding them?
That's a nice word.
That's not a word.
Hey, at least he can say his words.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Damn.
Bro. He hit you with the melding.
You got me.
He called me a greamer.
You greamer. I'm about to
Sorry, man, I cut you off again.
Yeah, boy.
I'm done.
Fucking
I'm just
greamer.
I'm joking. But no, I think samples.
There's this phrase that goes, "Good artists copy, great artists steal," and I thought about that, bro, and I was like, what does that really mean? Like, good artists copy, great artists steal. Like, what's the difference between copying and stealing? And I guess when you copy, you don't change anything about it, but when you steal it, you make it yours.
I could see that. I hope they word it different because that sounds bad as fuck.
No, it does, but
but it makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes so much sense to me, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
No, you once tweeted
my Twitter.
I had to say it.
I don't even know what I say on Twitter.
I dove into your Twitter feed, bro.
Oh Lord!
You once tweeted, "It's never too late to reinvent yourself." What made you say that? And are you thinking of reinventing?
At least that's a good tweet. I was nervous, but what the fuck did I say?
Everything you said at the beginning didn't mean shit.
EMP.
I will not be held liable for what I tweeted.
Shut it down.
Between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.
But no, what it was, during that time, I just was having a life moment, and then also a music moment. Reinventing yourself. Like, people like to think that once you're in. That we're creatures of habit, you know what I'm saying? Once you find a groove or something, people expect you to do that, forever and shit. But for me, like, the people I look up to and I'm influenced by, they've always shown me that change can happen at any time. You know what I'm saying? People can be totally different people, in different phases of their life, so that's really what it means. It's just, you always look to better yourself and see who else you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not prone to just being one person forever. So step outside yourself.
Yeah, that's one thing about being
could I
humans.
stop you real quick? Why did you say melding was the incorrect word?
It's a real word.
It's a real word?
You didn't know that?
Fuck boy.
Ooh, damn. He can't say them and he don't know them.
Bro.
Damn, bro.
I'm so ignorant, bro.
Damn.
My bad.
You never heard meld?
Meld?
Like to meld something?
I'm going to let y'all fight this out.
Melding. I just like... I thought that was like a gibberish word. Melding.
I was just wondering. I was like, wait.
Damn, he was fixing on
Bro,
it the whole
I was
time,
like,
bro.
what?
Yo, let me just say this. The whole time,
Don't look at me.
the whole time you've been
Thank you.
the whole time you've been answering this question, he's been on his phone going,
Yeah, he was on his shit. He
Bro,
was like,
you should've seen
nigga,
my
I
face.
know melding's a word. Don't come for me.
I looked at like 10 different sources. I was like, wait.
He said, no, I
Wait.
graduated. I know.
No, bro, like if the camera was not on Chuck this whole time, for those who are listening to the podcast,
he was hardcore.
he had the most like
My veins
hardcore
were popping,
stare.
bro.
Yo, he was
this
like,
thing right here was
ooh,
like
boy.
popping.
You had the most
Wait till
hardcore
I hit
stare.
him
I
with
was
the
like,
melding.
yo, you made fun of me for.
That's
funny.
That's
Good.
insane.
Hey, man, you get credit for that. That was
Jesus.
That was
Sorry,
slick.
y'all.
That was slick. He wanted it so bad. That's so petty. He was like, I know it is.
What if derail the entire conversation, Chuck? There we go.
That's great.
You like getting cut off?
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Wait, you finished answering the question, right?
Did I? Yeah.
Damn it,
Yeah,
Chuck.
no,
I
you
did.
were talking. I cut your ass off.
Damn.
okay.
You cut me off.
Oh, damn,
Okay.
this person.
Well, whatever I had in my head is long gone, guys. So let me just search it up. You're working on a project right now called Busybody.
I am.
That's on your. I think it's on your bio. If it's not, or
Not yet. No.
okay.
It's still in development. It's
No,
still,
I'm saying I thought you mentioned it in your bio or something.
No, I bought it home.
But yeah, tell the people about it, man. What is it?
Busybody is my second album. I don't have a whole lot of information for it, but I do just want people to know that it's in the works, and also it's gonna be a major improvement from my last one. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big believer in just honing in on my craft and trying to add different elements to it. You know what I mean? So like for every album, I have a different goal. You know, so for the last one, I wanted to learn how to do ad-libs. I did ad-libs all over my fucking album, probably more than I should have. It's a lot of talking and a lot of bullshit. But for this one, I've been trying to focus on being better with my singing and being more melodic and things like that. And that's another hurdle, you know what I'm saying? And it's fun though. I like challenging myself.
I really like that because it shows the growth between each album.
Exactly.
You know? So people are gonna be like, "Damn, look at this fool's progression. That's tight."
It's cool because one of my closest friends, Derek, he says it all the time. He's been with me since the Freshman Friday days, so the high school days. And he's like, dude, every time like you do an album, I'm like, oh shit, how is he gonna do something better than that? And then something else happens. That's not me being cocky. That's just what he said. But
I'm not sure if I'm ripping this off of one of your other interviews or if I just heard this somewhere else. But because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I watch a lot of videos, but I heard either you or somebody else say that every artist. Every album or project shouldn't sound the same as the previous one, right?
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Okay, so I did rip it off you.
It's all good. You know, the way I feel is because the people I look up to, with that being Kanye West and Childish Gambino, like none of their albums ever sound the same. You know what I mean? I've never heard a Kanye album that sounded exactly like the last, and it never sounds anywhere close to the next.
Would that be more on the production or the rapping or all together?
All together, because sometimes there's a full movement behind an album.
That's kind of how I feel about Jay-Z.
That too.
Exactly. I'm a little like, he's cool. Like he got some bars. Yeah. But damn, this shit get boring sometimes.
Well, I'm not a deep Jay-Z fan, but I will say he's a great artist. Yeah, hell yeah. Sure. But yeah, no. So I always try to make the effort to give myself a challenge before every album, and to grow my sound. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said I want to add live instruments. I want to add singing and melodies and things like that. And you know, I just try to find ways to grow. You know, that's always my biggest thing.
What's a 1 year goal and a 5 year goal for you?
1 year goal.
We all messing up words up here.
Goals. But despicable me type shit. Goals. But 1 year goal would be life is beautiful. I want to go.
You want to perform there?
That's real close.
100%.
Yeah.
Like that's been my goal for like the last 2 years.
Okay.
So that's a goal that I want, like for real. 5-year goal would be on a tour with a pretty popular artist. Like whether I'm an opener or whatever, but on an actual tour, like, you know,
going to multiple cities and states.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing your thing.
So I want to be out of the city by then.
This shock mount giving out on me, bro. I keep moving it too. That's the thing.
Yeah, but that's definitely something I want.
One of my other questions was gonna be like, what's your dream venue to perform at? But you said it's Life is Beautiful for your short term goal. But like, let's just say your dream venue.
Maybe like Staples Center. I don't fucking know.
Like an arena, basically.
But if I could, honestly, another long-term goal, I want to be able to like go and do a tour out in like London or something. Like I want to, yeah, exactly. Like I want to go across country. Yeah.
I swear, I feel like realistically, you'll probably have a like easier chance to do that. You know, because like they respect music a little bit more. Yeah. And they see, you know, you're from a different country. Yeah. You know? People in America are like, oh, you're American.
You're just another dude rapping.
But if you go to Australia and shit, people are going to be like, yo, we got to see this fool because he's out here.
Exactly.
So who is he?
Yeah, it's like gotta be somebody.
Yeah. It's like when I go to Mexico for vacation, bro, the girl's looking at me.
Ooh, look at you. Mr.
Like
King.
a snack.
King.
Oh, you're American?
King Keem.
You got a passport?
Bro, stop dreaming.
Creaming.
Ooh, he said creaming.
Cream on.
It all comes back full circle on the morning dinner. Guys.
Right? Oh.
That's just never going to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of hip hop and rap music, what other style of music do you like to listen to, man?
Everything.
Don't.
Everything.
You gotta say everything. You gotta pick one. Or right now, what are you listening to?
Okay, I'm gonna just run down some names. These are my tops. Little Dragon.
Yeah.
James Blake. Bon Iver. Or Bon Iver, however you want to pronounce it.
Bon Iver.
But it's Bon Iver. I heard her pronounce it once. It was like French sounding.
Sounds English.
Also, who? Nice.
Bon Iver.
Sounds English.
Damn. Now my list is fucked. But I listen to a lot of. Alabama Shakes is good.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty
Tame
good.
Impala is my shit. I listen to, as far as rock, Highly Suspect. A lot of shit, bro.
How do you feel about funk music, man?
Funk is the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard any new music, like new funk music coming out nowadays? Like electro funk, Chromeo.
Oh, Chromeo's sick.
You like Chromeo?
Who was the last one?
Breakbot.
I haven't listened to their stuff yet.
They're French, right? Or he's French?
Yeah, French.
Dude, he's so tight.
I also listen to the internet. The internet is my shit.
Yeah.
I need to listen to the internet. I haven't.
You haven't listened to the internet, bro?
No,
I've sent you a few songs. You said you didn't really like it.
You would love the internet,
Sorry.
bro.
Sorry to put you out there,
Oh
but
my god.
I sent it to him and he's like, I don't really feel it.
The internet is my shit.
Who's in the internet? Because I think somebody else mentioned them on the podcast.
Sid the Kid's the singer from Odd Future.
Yeah, from My Future.
Stacy. What is it?
Steve Lacy.
Steve Lacy.
Oh, he's the guy that produces on his iPhone, bro.
Who's the other guy? Matthew.
Yeah, I can't remember the rest. I'm not that good.
That fool's really tight too, man.
They're a great band, bro.
Yeah.
Like you should really check them out. But,
Okay.
And all individual, like they kill it for sure.
Yeah, I listen to everybody though.
Have you ever heard of Jameson? JMSN?
Yes.
Bro, he's so
I saw when you mentioned him on the other podcast.
Yeah, bro.
He's from Michigan too.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I believe he's from Flint.
You fuck with Daniel Caesar?
Yes, hell yeah.
I'm seeing him tonight.
Oh, you
at Live. I was like,
tight.
That's
but yeah,
tight.
Daniel Caesar's lit. Who else? Kaylani's dope as fuck. That's Baylani right there.
Baylani.
Yeah. So yeah, I listen to a little bit of everything. I make sure to listen to everything if I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all I do, bro.
I'm that friend who's like, it dropped today. Did you listen to the album?
Yeah.
Like I'm like extra as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's good to have though, man.
Yeah.
It's open-minded people.
Well, when we had Chelsea on here, we had her talk about who she would like to collaborate one day with, and she said it was Boogie.
Yeah,
West Side Boogie. Who's somebody you can kind of like see who would you see yourself collaborating with in the near future?
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 years from now.
In near future?
Yeah.
Mr. West.
Near future, I'm gonna be real. I mean, if I can be realistic, somebody I would want to collab with.
Keem.
You ever heard of Smino?
Yeah, that's full.
I would love to work with Smino, bro. If you haven't heard of Smino, that nigga's crazy.
What makes Smino stand out?
He's to me, I I call him the Southern music soul child of today.
Ooh.
He's got a vibe like no other, bro, and he sings and raps.
His voice is unique, man.
Yeah,
like I haven't heard shit like it.
He has a deeper voice and a like more mumbled voice than mine, but he can hit a falsetto like it's nobody's business. Nobody's business, bro.
I gotta check out.
Like, and he does things with his voice that crazy.
I'm so ignorant when it comes to music, bro.
Yeah, he picks such good production too. Because what's his name? Does all his music? Beats.
Monty Booker. Yeah,
Booker's a beast.
We got to put you on some shit.
Damn, you guys know your shit, man.
But Smino's good. A guy named Toby Lou is cool.
Toby Lou's tight.
I would work with him too. Yeah. These are people who are kind of in my lane. Amine.
Sensei No.
Sensei LaFox. That's my guy. Callejon.
I know Amine.
Yeah, Amine. Nope, Amine. You better say it right. I mean, dang, that was your one. That was your one current rapper that you didn't mess up, and you found. He was like, I know one. I got this. I'm just joking.
Yo.
But to segue from Amine, how about anime? Remember we brought this up.
All right, we'll bring it up. Let the people know. Are you big into anime?
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay. What you want, man? What you want?
Okay, so I'm gonna run down my list. Ones that I finished. It's gonna be a mixture of things I finished and I'm still watching. So Tokyo Ghoul.
Okay, I heard that one was good.
Finished, yeah. Caught up. My Hero Academia,
of course,
caught up.
Plus Ultra.
Hunter x Hunter, finished. My favorite anime of all time.
Rest in peace,
Chuck keeps trying to get me on Hunter x Hunter, but I can't.
Bro,
it's so long.
No, it's not.
No, isn't it?
70 episodes.
Never mind. I'm thinking of Naruto.
No, Naruto has a lot of them.
But remember,
I'm watching
no fillers.
Naruto had a kid.
Same with
Bleach,
got his own
bro.
Show. Bleach was so good, just no fillers.
Yeah,
take out the fillers.
Boruto, I'm watching that. Caught up. I've watched one called Blood Blockade Battlefront. Really good. Fucking love it. Jesus Christ, I have no life. Bro, so many.
This is why your last project took 10 years to make.
I haven't watched One Piece yet.
I'll tell you this. Like, don't even like.
So many fucking episodes.
Bro, it's like 850 something. But real talk, watch from episode like 250 or 300.
I'm gonna be real. I can't. Like, I'm a watch all or nothing kind of person. I can't.
I'm telling you, bro.
I know.
I'm telling you, like I thought the same thing, but my brother's like, dude, you're gonna waste your time. He's like, that shit's so boring because they replay the moments.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard they recap every fucking thing.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see them all where they come from. And you don't really need to know where they came from because it's not really beneficial to the story.
It's gonna make me feel, bro. I can't, like, in my heart, I'm like, I know I'm supposed to see something, even if it's the same shit. I'm like,
It's crazy because I love One Piece.
Yeah,
like it's one of my favorite ones right now, just because it's like underrated. It seems, but it's
really?
kind of
You
not.
think so?
It's kind of not.
It's like but
a lot of people are like, nah, I don't
like
Shonen.
That's Shonen Jump's baby though,
bro.
Like that's
that
like
shit is
shit.
Killing it, bro. Like because it's just Luffy, you know. He's no joke, bro. He's not no pussy.
I'm gonna be real though. Like I said, Hunter x Hunter is my all-time favorite. Like,
I'm just mad.
I cried 5 times within the last 10 episodes.
Damn,
that shit got deep as fuck, and you're just like from being
you
sad tears
though, right?
to happy tears. Yeah, I finished it.
Bro, you're hyping it up. I need to watch that
because I'm gonna be real though. One thing, and you know, this might not be everybody's thing, but like the one thing that was holding me back from watching it was because I was watching so many current animes with like new anime style of animation.
Yeah,
that going back to see something from like 2011, I was like, it kind of looks old.
You know, it's funny. There's an older version.
Yeah,
too,
no, I saw that
like
shit.
2005.
That shit looks so much
that's
different.
That initial D fucking like animation, like where it's like, ooh.
Yeah, but like is one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Have you ever seen like what was it called? Parasite Maxim?
Parasite?
Yeah.
Parasite was the one with the hand in it.
I'm so salty they canceled it, bro.
That was the one I saw after I saw the first 2 seasons or whatever of Tokyo Ghoul. I went to see Parasite because they're kind of the same.
You've watched the OG ones like Code Geass. Oh, bro, those like
I still need to watch Akira.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Those are the ones, man.
To everybody at home, this is us having a little nerd out. Don't worry, it's almost.
You can look up. Y'all can look up this shit. This shit tight.
Yo, if they made it this far, bro, they want to hear you talk. Yeah, exactly.
But I need to watch Akira and some other ones.
What about Attack on Titan?
Yo, this season. Best season of any
they said
anime.
That shit was gonna be sleep.
Yo, this shit has been hype every single episode. Like I put this over any season I've seen from any anime in a minute.
Yeah,
like in a minute.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm spoiler alert for whoever the fuck watches anime out there. But the fact that for the like first 8 episodes, there's no what's the main character? I fucking forget. What's the main character?
Aaron?
Yeah, there's like
Aaron
no
Yeager?
real Aaron anything.
Yeah.
It's just everything else.
Yeah.
And it's just as important, just as crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
I just love
there's
how-
no Titan shit, nothing. I was like, this is more hype than the Titan shit. Like,
I just
exactly.
love how deep it is. Like it tells a lot about like
Yeah.
exactly like kind of how our world is. Right?
Exactly.
Like, you don't know. You don't know.
No, so
We talk about this every time. Like, we're like, fuck, dude, this shit's deep.
It's true. So yeah, no, I love Attack on Titan.
That's why you're like Akira for sure because
Yeah.
it's very deep. Code Geass is so good. You should watch it too. It's like V for Vendetta type shit. It's
Oh, I
against
like
the
that.
government.
I like that.
Death Note is fucking.
That's
genius.
another one I need to watch.
And then another one. It's kind of hard to like get into at first, but it's called 21 ReZero.
I've
Sorry.
heard of that. I've heard of that.
But it's called ReZero, and bro, it'll make you, it'll trip you out. Like watch the whole thing, and you'll be like, damn, you'll start questioning shit. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is
How come you
fucking
guys haven't
crazy.
mentioned the GOAT though, man? Dragon Ball Z.
Yo, that's solidified.
you
That's
gotta-
solidified. I'm gonna be real. For me, I stopped watching Dragon Ball, the series, like everything
GT.
after Z.
You didn't watch GT?
No, like me, like I watch Super here and there, like because I subscribe to people who do reactions, like anime and like video
Yeah.
games and shit. So
Yeah.
I see the important moments.
Getting nerdy
but
now.
like when he did the fucking sliding Kamehameha and hit a bitch with it, that was crazy. But that was crazy.
Yeah,
but
well,
anyway,
I mean, you don't have to watch GT. It's not even canon.
to me, like Dragon Ball Z is untouchable.
Yeah, it's
So
one of
like
those
anything that
classics.
happens after that, I'm just appreciative of. I'm like
Yeah.
from a distance, I'm like that's good. They're still going. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? People are still hyped for it.
There's
but
a new-
Z was a thing that you couldn't touch, bro. Like I even miss the way they used to do the animation back then, where there was
Yeah.
darker lines, darker shading, and like other things. You know, now it kind of looks too cartoony.
They cut corners.
Yeah,
I swear.
Yeah.
that shit used to look raw and gritty as fuck.
Bro, that was
Like,
one of the biggest gripes people had with Dragon Ball Super. Some of the episodes like were like rushed.
Yeah.
That the animation almost looked
and
like.
it looks like they're just standing there punching each other, but they're
looks
not.
fake. It
Bro,
looks
the
fake.
lines
It's
are
like-
so weird. Like the arm looks like a little nub or something. Like it's
Yeah.
so weird, bro. Like they didn't finish
That's what I'm
it.
saying. Like
Cutting
I can't.
corners, man.
Like I'm happy for it, but
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z was it. You know,
Hey,
what I'm
there's a
saying?
new movie coming
No,
out in theaters though, December.
The Broly shit,
And they always go next level.
They
that shit
always go
looks
next
that looks
level.
it look
They
hard.
spend money on
but
that.
I'm hype.
like no one can ever replace the Cell games.
No.
the father son Kamehameha.
No.
Fucking the first time this nigga ever went Super Saiyan.
Even Dragon Ball was tight,
Seeing
man.
Goten happen for the first time. I mean,
Golden Super Saiyan.
Goten. What is it?
Goten
Is it
and Trunks?
Yeah,
Yeah, the fusion.
Yeah, that shit happened for the first time.
6-year-old
Fusion, huh?
fusion. Yeah.
Bro, I was like,
Bro.
they could be one person. I remember being a kid and seeing that shit. I lost my everything. I was like, holy shit.
Bro, I was 13 years old trying to do that shit.
Imagine,
Yeah, I tried to fly in my backyard, bro.
Right?
When Vidal
Yo.
learns how to do that shit, I was like,
I'm gonna be
in the backyard
real.
meditating.
You know how they do the kids of today will never understand kind of like, you know, memes and stuff?
Yeah.
Like kids of today will never understand how hype it was to be a 90s kid and have wrestling and Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
And
You
all
was
the
beating
cartoons,
everybody's
man.
ass. Like you were either The Rock or Stone Cold, or you was fucking Goku or Gohan
Exactly.
or Vegeta trying to whoop somebody's ass.
I can't tell you how many scenarios I was Goku in, bro.
I was trying to
Me
whoop
and my cousin
everybody's ass.
were pretend to do shit like, all right, I'm gonna fight for this girl and I'm Goku this time. And I'm like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, it's just the dumbest shit that you can think of, bro. But it
Exactly,
filled up
bro.
your time. What about Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yu Yu Hakusho is classic. Inuyasha is classic. I didn't finish these. Full Metal is also. These are ones I want to go back to, like, cause I started Bleach roughly, and there's other ones that I know I need
Bleach
to go back
is so
and watch.
good because it took me a minute to watch, and I was like, I don't want to watch this shit too many
Yeah.
episodes. But when you watch it with no fillers, you'll finish.
I'm
it
gonna
so
do
quick.
fillers though.
No, bro,
I have no choice because I
Don't
can't.
do it.
To me, I can't decipher what's filler.
Yeah.
To me, like even
They will. They'll tell
right
you.
now, like people trash Boruto, but I think that show's fucking awesome. But like to me, fillers are character developments. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
depending on how they do it.
Yeah,
Like when it comes
I
to
can see
Boruto, like. I granted I don't want to see everyone's fucking episode, but I might see something where I'm like, oh, that's how they pulled off their fucking jutsu. Good
Yeah.
shit. Like they were struggling for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
That sucks. I hate it because I'm
Yeah.
fucking like, oh, this shit fucking sucks. This is
You think
boring.
so? You
I
think
want-
Boruto's like fucked up?
I actually stopped
you talking about
watching
fillers?
it. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
fillers in general. Because I'm like,
I'll
why
say
is Naruto getting ramen? I don't care
Yeah.
about
I'll say
this
this. I'll say
shit.
this. Fillers are cool when you're binging, but when you're waiting a whole
binging.
week for the next episode, you're like,
that's what it is.
Oh, and you wait and you get a filler.
Because if we're talking about that, fucking My Hero dropped whatever shit they dropped a week ago when they were doing like the fake, what is it? All Might's a villain, and you have to figure out.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And it was right in between them trying to get their like licenses and shit, and I'm like, I don't want to see this.
And it even said in the title though, it said
this
bonus. Bonus episode.
Bonus my ass. Bonus the fuck up out of here. I'm trying to see what's happening.
I can't front though. If it's a good anime, I'll watch the fillers. So.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, because like you said, it's character development.
I'm dedicated. I'm already in it.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched Yu Yu Hakusho in Japanese. I only watched
it in English.
And you know what's crazy is the fact that I watched it when I was a kid, but I think there's 3 or 4 seasons. I think I only watched like the ending of the tournament, and I didn't even know there was another season after that.
I didn't either
until I was like 23, and I was like, oh shit,
there's more
seasons.
Yeah, no, I got into anime initially because of my cousin. I have a cousin Denzel. He actually lives in Hawaii right now, but shout out to him. Yeah, because back in the day, you ever have like a family member who like you do all the things they do because you kind of look up to them in a way.
Yeah.
Like, well, they like this, well, I like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a kid. Well, he used to watch Inuyasha like crazy. He used to watch Yu Yu Hakusho like crazy. He was watching Toonami like back when it was like that craze, and Dragon Ball Z and shit. So I used to watch it all the time, not even knowing what the fuck was happening. I'm just like, this shit's deep.
Bro, I was a 15-year-old perv, bro. I only watched Yu Yu Hakusho because of Keiko.
Yo,
bring that skirt back over here, bro.
Hit pause the TV.
I feel you, bro.
Oh, that's tight, man. It's always good to get to know a person like behind the music too. You know, your nerdy side, because the thing is also all these things that make you who you are. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
everybody wants to put up a front.
You know what's
cool?
You know what's funny? I actually referenced anime in my song Itsrayiguess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I said My Hero Tokyo Ghoul something. Like I put like I said, and Rick and Morty is cool. That's what I said.
Yeah,
Tokyo
I heard
Ghoul.
that line. That line did pop up to
bro,
me.
I'm true to self. Like that's what's important more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so,
tight, man. Well, I think Chuck's got to go pretty soon.
Okay.
So that sounds like a pretty good place to end it, man.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, man.
It's
Itsrayiguess. You want to tell people where to find you real quick?
I'm Itsrayiguess everywhere. So at Itsrayiguess. Itsrayiguess. So don't forget. Don't just look up Ray. You won't find me. So yeah, at Itsrayiguess everywhere. From Twitter to Instagram, whatever, Snapchat probably. I don't know. I don't use Snapchat, by the way.
And your music is on Apple, iTunes,
Apple Music,
Spotify,
iTunes, SoundCloud, all that.
What about Tidal?
Tidal, I believe, it's on Tidal too.
Ooh, nice.
See, I'm fresh, bro.
Got that exclusive.
I'm on it, bro.
Well, if you're gonna listen to his music, listen to it on Tidal because he gets more money per percentage.
Yeah,
Wait, didn't? Real quick, before we end it, I think Spotify is doing a test to give 100% royalties to all streamers now.
What?
Yeah, it's like a new test they're doing, and I think they're gonna grab a certain amount of artists to run it.
Publicity
but I just seen
cool.
Probably.
Before we go, I would like to also say, rest in peace to Mac Miller, because that was my nigga. I just want to say that he was a great artist, and I just wanted to give him his credit. You know what I'm saying? That's my nigga.
Too young.
Yeah, we brought him up in a previous podcast, and it's always tragic, man. When you see somebody that's one of the things that I saw online too. Yeah. Is that why it affected people so much? Is because he's our age, bro.
Yeah.
You know, he's like he's 28. He was like 27.
No, he was like a year older than me. Like, or like he's like 26. He's like 26.
He's 26.
Bro, I'm older than him. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
You're trash, bro.
Yeah. And I'm trash.
That's what we turned it into.
Yeah.
He was also one of my biggest influences. Like as far as being a nonchalant, like cool, funny dude, but also lyrical and doing other things artistically. That's somebody I would want to be like.
You're talking about bringing that aspect of being like nerdy or like having personality behind the music and not just being so like, oh, I'm a rapper.
Yeah, no, he also, like, if we're gonna be deep, like, you know, we all have like questions about existence and life and religion and all these things like that. And to me, in a way, he made it cool to not know. You know what I mean? The way he would speak about it, he'd rap and ask these questions and his lyrics and stuff like that, and then it always come down to, well, it's cool. I'm just me. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I don't know either. You don't know either. Shit, fuck it, we're good. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was kind of like his vibe to me. And so.
Yeah, I never dove too deep into his music. Unfortunately, I'm starting to do it a little bit more now that he's passed. Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you know, I feel like that's the fun part about life is you don't know all these things. Maybe it's pointless. Maybe there is a purpose. We don't know.
That's exactly how his song sounds. Maybe it's pointless. Maybe it means something. Maybe it means nothing at all.
But I think that's the fun part. Like even having these conversations and talking to each other across the table. That's what gives. I feel like that's what gives life its meaning is getting to know people and sharing experiences, man.
Damn, man. So this was lit because we talked about music, we talked about anime, we talked about Greemers, we talked about.
I feel like this was a really good episode.
Melding together,
melding together.
You learned a new word.
Exactly.
I learned a new word,
and the word of today is melding.
Yo, that should be a new segment, bro.
If y'all edit this, put melding here.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna edit.
Hey, real quick, is easeability a word?
Easeability. I would say that it's accessibility. Right?
No. Easeability.
Is it a word?
I looked it up. I did look it up because
it's not a word.
I called Chuck out. Right. I called Chuck out on the previous podcast because he used that word, and I did look it up, bro. The only place I found it is Urban Dictionary.
Yo, that shit don't sound right. Yeah. That shit sounds.
It was so funny though because
if you grew up in Northtown, it's easeability.
Yeah, fucking no.
Because I was like, wait. I was like talking about like an app, like the easeability to use an app, and I was like, okay, he got me. But now that's why I was so salty. Again. I was like, fuck you, dog.
Yo,
melding.
If we're talking about grammar, bro, people who use liked it as a word, you ever heard that?
Liked it?
Yo, I used to hate that shit in school. Like, I don't know if it's still a thing or not, but me and my girl just talked about this. We were like, people
liked that shit.
No, people do that, and I hate it. Like, I used to be in school, and I'd be like, oh, you heard about that girl? Yeah, man, I heard she liked it you. Like, what? She did what?
I've never heard that.
Oh, I liked it.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a thing. That's just a small pet peeve. If you do that,
bro,
maybe we could be friends if you learn grammar.
I'm petty, but it's still the whole your thing.
Oh,
can't stand it. Mm-mm.
That's also a thing. Yeah.
I saw somebody post that.
I be feeling like an idiot when autocorrect don't help me out, bro. I be like, yo, I knew what I meant.
When they fucking up with there so much, bro. I'm like, there. God damn it. I'm like,
you know who I'm talking about.
You know where I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast,
thank you,
bro.
Definitely, man.
We're gonna go ahead and put all your information down below in the show notes for Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. You guys want to find out more about Ray? Check the links down below. I guess that's it. Thanks you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next morning dinner.
All right.
Shout out to Greemers.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.
Don't forget, guys, if you guys just want to listen to the audio because you don't want to see this ugly face or Chuck's ugly face or our beautiful guest's face, you can stream the audio only on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Overcast, pretty much any podcasting app that you can think of on Android or iOS devices. So you want to listen to the audio? I suggest you do because I do on the drive to work. Chuck, what you doing, bro? I'm recording.
Sorry.
Aw. I gotta do it all over again?